Good morning, Gators. I'm Kennedy.
And I'm Delaney, and welcome back to another edition of Swamp Talk.
Gators, remember that at outside athletic events, you don't have to wear your mask while seated, but you should wear your mask while arriving at the event, walking through the stands, visiting the concession stands, restroom, and when leaving.
On Friday, October 9th, we are playing
varsity football
against the Pasco Pirates. Tickets are on sale now. You can get yours in the link in description.
Tomorrow there's a volleyball game at HHS at 6 p.m. and a JV football game at WCHS at 7 p.m. Come out and support your fellow Gators. Also, there's a girls weightlifting meeting in room 315 today at 2:30 p.m.
Tonight, there is a boys golf conference and a swim meet at 6 p.m. at Zephyr Hills High School.
Gators, reminder that we're still celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th. So, let's check in with Gabby with a segment on this special month.
September 15th marks the start of Hispanic Heritage Month, which was introduced by George E. Brown in 1968, originally as a week, and was made official on September 17, 1968, when Congress passed Public Law 9048.
Hispanic Heritage Month starts on September 15th because on September 15, 1821, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua declared their independence from Spain. This month is to commemorate the contributions Hispanic Americans have made to America, as well as celebrate their culture and heritage. Hispanic Americans have made their mark on just about every industry. Some of the most recognized and influential Hispanic Americans include Cesar Chavez, a civil rights leader who fought for the rights of farm workers and the improvement of their working conditions; Dolores Huerta, civil rights activist who fought for the rights of women and farm workers; Franklin Chang Diaz, the first Hispanic to be inducted into the Astronaut Hall of Fame; Roberto Clemente, the first Hispanic to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame; Carlos Santana, renowned guitarist and first Latino, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame; Desi Arnaz, the first Hispanic star of a network television show for his role as Ricky Ricardo in I Love Lucy; Gloria Estefan, one of the world's best-selling recording artists with over 100 million records sold worldwide; Rita Moreno, the first and only Hispanic to win an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award, and many more. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month, Gators.
Attention Gators! Today is our first annual LOLHS Academy of Culinary Arts Soup Competition.
Now let's check out world news in 60 seconds with Owen.
In national news, after last week's debate, Trump was diagnosed with COVID-19. After a few days in the hospital, he is currently doing better and shows no symptoms. Trump says he'll be back to full health and is looking forward to the next debate. He is now back living at the White House. Biden is doing his best to cancel the next debate, however, over his fears of COVID-19. A drought in Connecticut is continuing to worsen after last week's heavy rain, and officials have now elevated the drought status to moderate, or level 3 out of 5. Residents are praying for continuous heavy rains as wildfires from the drought continue to get worse. That's it for this week, Gators. Now back to your hosts.
Now to Amina for a fun teacher trivia.
Hello, Gators. Welcome to this year's first edition of Teacher Trivia. Let's get into the video. Question 1. Which teacher listed below played both the harmonica and the guitar? A. Miss Rullison, B. Mr. Miller, C. Mr. Camp, or D. Mr. Blankenship? D. Mr. Blankenship. Mr. Blankenship is a psychology and U.S. government teacher. He plays the harmonica and the guitar. Number 2. Which teacher listed below used attention grabbers unique to each class period? Example, the teacher says chicka chicka, students reply boom boom. A. Mr. Miller, B. Miss Cost, C. Miss Johnson, or D. Mr. Berger? C. Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson is a chemistry teacher and she loves to use attention grabbers to entertain her students and bring her class back together. Number 3. Which teacher listed below is known for his beard, belly, and booming voice? A. Mr. Carson, B. Miss Smith, C. Miss Johnson, or D. Mr. Conley? D. Mr. Conley. Mr. Conley is a Algebra 2 teacher. He is known for his beard, belly, and booming voice because he is Santa, duh. Number 4. Which teacher listed below is a new teacher that plays the French horn and the trombone? A. Mr. Carson, B. Miss Coss, C. Mr. Rullison, or D. Mr. Miller? A. Mr. Carson. Mr. Carson is a 10th grade English teacher. If you see him around, be sure to welcome him. Number 5. Which teacher listed below is very unpredictable and a coach? A. Miss Rulison. B. Mr. Miller. C. Mr. Camp. Or D. Mr. Blankenship. B. Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller is an Algebra 2 and Geometry teacher, but he is also a wrestling coach. You may know him as unpredictable. Number 6. Which teacher listed below is known for traveling to various places? A. Miss Rulison. B. Mr. Miller. C. Mr. Camp. Or D. Miss Coss. D. Miss Coss. Miss Coss is a AP Human Geography, AP Comparative Government, and U.S. Government Honors teacher. She has been to various places such as the Caribbean, Canada, Mexico, Belize, Honduras, Peru, Egypt, France, England, Ireland, Australia, South Korea, and many more. And that concludes the first edition of Swamp Talks Teacher Trivia.
Remember to vote for Outstanding Senior. Links for voting have been sent out to student emails.
Congrats to the volleyball team for an undefeated conference season, claiming their second championship since 1993. That's all the news for today, Gators. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at LOLHS Journalism.
Tune in this Friday for another edition of Swamp Talk. Bye!
Varsity football.